That's a good question. You know, I think the ceiling is still high. I don't think it's. I said at the beginning of the year, I said at the middle, and I said at the end. At the beginning of the year, I thought the ceiling was very high. When Josh went down, I was concerned where the ceiling was, and then with all the things that have happened, it's hard for me to evaluate where the ceiling is. But we've played pretty good ball against just about everybody. You know, I'd say our Duke game here was a letdown, and I'd say that game the other day was, but I'd say at the other 15 games, you know, there was very good basketball played at times, and we competed with any and everybody, and I still think we can. Our margin for error is less. Our margin for error is less than it was, and every time you lose a player, especially an experienced player, that margin goes down a little bit. But I haven't changed what I feel. I mean, I think the conference is still incredibly good. I think we have just as good a chance as anybody else. I just think that it's amazing how things go. You know, Ohio State started out like a ball of fire, and then they struggled a little bit. Well, one of the reasons they struggled, they lost one guy. You know, first they lost Washington for a game, they lost that game, and then they lost Young for a couple games. Then he came back, and they don't seem quite in sync yet. You know, I tried to explain it to you that the transfer and the things that are going on is going to leave less depth for everybody, or less quality depth, and there's going to be these kind of things that are happening. And you know what? I was right. I mean, forget Michigan State, it's happening all over. And then at the other side of it, you take a team like Wisconsin, who was struggling early, and now is playing their best basketball. Is it because of one guy? Well, that one guy had 24 and 13, so that's not a normal guy in their last road game at Penn State. But he's also a guy with experience. You know, I don't know what year he is, but I think he was 2 years at Ohio State, right? And then he came here, and so he's got some experience to him. So that's going to be, I think, the big key is always your best players. I have no question Cassius is healthy. I think he'll have some great games, and I also said that there's going to be days here and there for a variety of reasons. Sometimes teams take him out of it. Sometimes it could be a bad day. But I have all the faith in the world in him, and Xavier's been our most consistent player if you really got right down to it. So for those two guys to have question mark games, and you got to give Purdue credit. I mean, they played as good as they could play. You know, I think he said it, they said it, and they played awfully well. So where's the ceiling? I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows where their ceiling is right now. I know this. I think we can get better. I think we can get a lot better than we are. We're 5-1 in the league. We're 13-4 overall. So I still feel very good at where we can get to. I don't feel as good at where we're at right now. Well, why would you when you get beat by 100? You know, 2 days later.
Yeah, my question was kind of about that. How are you seeing them react to, you know, pretty big swing going from playing as well as you guys were to, you know, a game like that you haven't experienced?
Well, I told them that you guys are going to make me cringe when the media is right about something. You know, I said, I told you guys when you asked me the question, or it was asked to me by, maybe it was TV, but I think just in general, I have a tendency to lump all you guys together. Did you come off an emotional win against Michigan? And then, because we didn't play that well against Minnesota either. Thought we played pretty well against Illinois, good team, and played pretty well against Michigan. But I didn't think we played that good against Minnesota. And I said to you, I doubt it, I don't see why, but never underestimate an 18-year-old, and never underestimate Twitter. You know, I just get such a kick out of when my buddies call me, or my assistants will tell me something. And you know, I think Aaron's going through a tough time now, a little bit, and you know, some of the tweets are, you know, don't start him. You better get back after him. You better do this. You better do that. You know what? that's why I said to you, I don't, that's why I don't listen to it, and I don't watch it, but at the same time, I think kids, the highs are too high and the lows are too low. And I think we gotta realize that we are not a great basketball team. We have a potential to become a very good basketball team. And the margin for error is this big. I think around the country, the margin for error for a lot of those teams, it was at Washington that started out house on fire, and now they've lost 4 in a row, I think. You know, it's just the way it is. I don't like it, but I would say this. I don't think there's many teams out there head and shoulders above a lot of teams in anybody's conference, including the Big Ten. I think there's a lot of parity right now, and parity is good for people, but it's hard for people to relate to because it's not what they're used to. And so I said that, you know, think of it, we're 5-1. I bet you when I heard some guy say, you know, boy, the way Michigan State was playing, they shouldn't have trouble with anybody. And I started laughing that sometimes we can't beat our scout team, you know. So I said 5 losses will probably win the Big Ten, and I'll bet you half of you left here thinking I was on drugs or Dilaglue, one of the two. And the truth of it is, I haven't changed my opinion in one way, shape, or form. I still think there's going to be a lot more losses out there for everybody, and how we deal with them. And that's why I was trying, listen, there's no excuse to play like we play. That shouldn't fall on the players, that should fall on the head coach, because that was ridiculous, okay? Getting beat there's no shame in that. So that's why I was trying to keep things in a little bit of perspective, because I could feel, I'm a good body language reader, and I could feel where everybody's body language was going. And shame on me for not realizing maybe where my own team's body language was going. I didn't see any less effort or less in practice. But you just don't get to practice like you used to, you know. That management stuff has taken over the world now, you know, where I think everybody worries about everybody working too hard. In most of the cases, people don't work hard. You know, Aaron asked me, well, what should I do? I said the same thing I did. I lost, I just went back to work. And whatever I did, I turned that knob up about 4 digits. I said, and that's what everybody's got to do. But the way of the world now is get some rest and load management. You know, I just don't believe in it. It's never been that way, and it never will be that way for me. So I'm still the guy that should be held accountable.
It doesn't happen often, but like it did on Sunday when Cassius gets kind of taken out of the game the way that he did. How do you make sure that the other guys don't somewhat look lost in a way when they're out there on the floor when he's not there running?